Hello everyone, this is Helen H. and welcome to my channel, Moss Cottage. I hope everyone is doing well today. I have a super fun little project I'm working on. This is one that I did quite a while ago, and I believe I have actually made a video on making these little mini canvases that you can make from a box, from any little box. And this is just one I had done, and I thought I would make another one because I found the perfect box to make one. This was just a little white box, very thin cardstock. It was in a shower sponge thing that I had gotten, and it was just a part of the packaging. So all you have to do to make a little canvas, to do a little mixed media canvas, and see, they're thick enough so they stand up really nicely too. They stand up on their own. So all you need to do, and I already did it to save time, is wrap the whole box all the way around and the sides too in masking tape. It will hold the box together. Like I said, this one was very thin and the ends, could have popped open, whatever. It will keep the box together. Plus it gives it a kind of a textured surface a little bit. Now I have made my own canvases before, just on a piece of cardboard and then covering it with muslin and then gesso, but this one works just as well, and it's just masking tape. So the only other thing I have done to save time ahead of time also is I did cover it with a very light coat of gesso, just because I use cheap gesso and it doesn't cover, you don't have to have it super thick, just to give it the grit that you want. So I want to make like a more mixed media style little canvas. So I am going to use images. I found these books at a thrift shop a while ago. I think these are from Catholic classes for children, and the pictures in here are just adorable. I mean, these graphics are great. So I had been busy. I cut one apart, most of one anyway. And so what I did was I picked out the little images that I want to use. And I have the main images that I want to use are this little girl here and this little house here. And I'm going to put her like this on the front like that, okay? But, we don't want to just slap her on a background like this, because that's just not very interesting. So we need to mixed media this up a little bit. And so I went ahead and picked up some paints that I thought we might put down. Now the first one I'm going to use pretty much all over it's called Buff Titanium. I'm not sure, let's see, do I have a paintbrush? I'm not sure what that means, Buff Titanium. There are names for all of the paints and so on and so forth. I'm not an artist that way, so I don't know. So I'm just going to go ahead, and it's not in itself or left to itself. This is not a very appealing color. It's really not. But it's only going to be the underneath. And one of the reasons I picked this color was I looked at the book pages when I was picking which image I wanted to use. I had taken the books out and I was kind of looking at the book pages, because I mean, the backgrounds were, the backgrounds in those books are so wonderful too, that after I cut the images out, I saved pieces of the background also, because I just really love the way that they painted the background. So it seemed to me like they had this kind of neutrally, what is it, kind of a tanny color, yellowy tan color on the background, and their pictures kind of all went with that. So I figured I would go ahead and use that on my background too. Of course, yours is going to depend. This one I went really bright because I had the little girl. That's from a Dick and Jane book, and so I went really bright. Now I don't paint the backs because they're not displayed somewhere where anyone would see the back. And if you can do the back, but the problem with that is if you do the back when you're painting it, like right now, this step, you have to wait till everything dries till you can pick it up and do the back. So if you don't care about the back, mine is just the gesso. And, you know, you can always go back. I guess I could always go back and put a piece of, maybe a piece of the background paper of the book on the back, or I could do a piece of scrapbook paper or something like that. So that's fairly dry. I mean, you can see I've got some on my fingers. It's going to be dry enough. So now what I want to do is to get on some of these other colors. So I picked a blue, like just blue. This isn't robin's egg blue. It's more, I'd say, what we'd consider like baby blue. Has this one not been opened, or is it dried up, or what's going on here? Let's see what's going on with my blue here. Oh, goodness. I didn't even check this because these, oops. Oh, okay. See there. Okay, there we go. Yeah, no, it's good. So, I wanted to go with this one because her dress is not robin's egg. It doesn't have that greeny color in it. It's more of a baby blue. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to take a little paint, and I'm going to actually just take it from the bottle. This paint here, I will either try to put back in the bottle, or I will get out my art journal. And I'm just going to go ahead and daub some of this on. And I know you're thinking, ugh, blue with that tanny color, you know. Yeah, I'm trying to just kind of build up some layers is what I'm trying to do here. So, I don't want to completely cover it with the blue, but I do want a little bit of the blue showing through. And it does get a little tricky when you have to do the sides and everything. You're going to get your fingers wet because, you know, I'm trying to hold it while I'm doing this, but without necessarily putting it down. What I do sometimes is just like put them like this on an angle, so only one very little bit of the corner is touching. Okay, so we've got the blue, and I'm just going to put this aside for now. I'll deal with that in a minute. Now, let's go ahead and give it a little bit more heat here. I'm just going to put a couple colors on. And then I also thought, now, in the book, their background, the little characters' backgrounds are not stenciled, but I thought it would be fun to stencil, too. So we're probably going to do some of that. So now I'm going to add a little bit of pink. And this is again what I would consider baby pink. It's not a hot pink. This set does have a much hotter pink, but I didn't want to go with that. So we're going to go with this pink, and I'll just get another one of these out. I let this dry, and then I'll cut that off and reuse it. So we're just going to go ahead and use some pink also, just again to, not everywhere, but just to build up some, I guess, depth is what they say, right? When you put color over color like this, it's just kind of building some depth. And these paints that I'm using here, you would get a much different effect if you were using like golden paints or, you know, a really good brand. This is like a super cheap brand paint that I'm using here. It just so happened that this cheap set had the colors that I was looking for, whereas my my more expensive paints did not. So let's just hit that one more time. We're going to add one more color, then maybe we're going to do a little bit of stenciling. And, you know, decorating these on this one, you can see that splash and the little things in the bottom left corner. Those are from like an acrylic sticker or whatever. You can really use anything to embellish these. So I like how this pink here is a little bit stronger. There's a couple places where it is actually a little bit stronger. So now the last thing, I'm just going to dab this one off here. The last color I want to put before we stencil, this is called Naples Yellow Hue. Don't know what that means. I mean, honestly, I think they probably make these up for no reason, right? Just to sound fancy. I don't know. Okay, so it's just that I like the color. So this is, again, a little brighter yellow than the one that's on the back. And the reason I'm putting it on like this is because this kind of matches the way the pages in the book are. You know, you can do whatever you want that would match your little piece of art, right? Whatever you wanted. You could collage, you know, whatever. I've made tons of these, and like I said, I think I have a video, if I can find it, because it was a long time ago. I will link it, And what you can use if you're like, yeah, well, I don't have boxes, you know, I don't come in contact. Like if you get like the little boxes of raisins, or you have a kid in your life who eats the little boxes of raisins, those are great. And I have a whole bunch of small ones like that, even smaller than a raisin box. And I can't even for the life of me remember what the boxes were for originally. But I put magnets on the back and use them for magnets because they're super light. So, you know, there's no weight to them whatsoever. Okay, so now let's do a little bit of stenciling. So I'm looking at my little girl here. She's got blue and brown, and then of course her skin tone, and then she's got these leggings, which are a little bit darker, more like a teal. But I think for stenciling, let me just take a look what color I'm going to use here. I'm just looking in the back. I think I'm going to, I might go wild and just go with a bright pink. I could do that. Go with the bright pink. Yeah, okay, let me add a little bit of bright pink. We'll see what happens. I'm just going to add a little bit of that. I have 2 stencils I picked out. One is the bright pink, and I think I'm going to do this little flowery star stencil in the bright pink. And then I have one that looks more like brick here, and we might do a little bit of darker color on that one. So let me just get a little bit of this really bright paint here. And you know, I'm just playing, guys. Really, I'm just playing here. I had this box, you know, I was doing a clean out. I know a lot of us are, and see, it doesn't even show up that bright pink on top of this background. So I was doing a clean out like most of us do in January. You know, even everywhere in the house, we kind of just like, ugh, I'm tired of that, you know, and it donate it or throw it away or whatever. And I was cleaning out. Oh, I know what I did. This box came from, this is going to be so hard. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you're not going to get it. It came from it's like a little net bag holder for your soap, for bar soap, okay? And it hangs in the shower and it holds your soap. So it's like your soap is in a scrubby, okay? Like one of those scrubby sponges, okay? So I was putting a new soap out, and I decided to get myself a new scrubby while I did that, and this box was in there, and it's like, oh, I've got a new soap and everything and all this, and here's this box. Well, do you think I could throw the box away, even though it was just a plain white, super simple little box that was just in there to hold the scrubby open so that it fit in the container right? You know, what is it with us that we can't throw anything away? But then I thought, oh, you know what, I'm going to do that. Now let me go ahead. I'm going to get a darker color. Do I have my favorite color here? Let me see here. Yes, I do. This is a blue that Birdie, the Recycle Hippie chick, sent to me, and this is, other than Payne's Gray, this is probably my favorite color. It's called Midnight Blue, and it is very dark, so I've got to be a little bit careful with this one, but I think it will add the highlights or the low lights that we need here. Yeah, so why is it that we can't throw anything away, right? But, you know, then you keep thinking about all these great little things you could do with with those, right? Who wants to throw a perfectly good little box away? The other thing I like to do is make dioramas from boxes, right? To make little Christmas dioramas and stuff. That's another cute thing to do with little boxes. So I'm just hitting the edges, the sides, the front, just with a few little of these dark bricks. And some of them are going right over the little pink star flower things I just put on there. And so we're just gonna do this. And like I said, I will use up this paint. So if anyone's having a heart attack that I squeezed out so much paint, don't worry, it will be used. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that was just a little bit of extra interest, you know, that I put on there. So now let's go ahead and put our little girl on. But I said I was going to put the house on first. So I need to do that. And I think for this, let's go ahead and use Mod Podge for this, because it is mixed media. Let me get a brush here. I've got like 10,000 brushes here, and they're all on my desk and they're all wet. So, okay, well, we're gonna have to go with one of the wet ones. This is actually my glue brush right here. Let me see if I can't, hold on. If I didn't think about this, if I can't maybe just dry this off a little bit. I just don't want my decoupage glue to not be strong enough if I wet it down. Okay. So let's go ahead and attach the little house on the front. I have never seen books like this before, and I've never seen them again. And if, oh my gosh, if I ever did, I would certainly get them again because they are just adorable. I can't remember. I think the copyright was like the 1960s, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so there's our little house here. And I am going to go ahead and do the top with Mod Podge also, because this is more like a little canvas. So I will eventually go around the whole thing with the Mod Podge. Okay, and now let's go ahead and get our little girl down. And I think I'm just going to put some little Mod Podge on the back of her. I didn't put it on the back of the house. I'm not sure. My method is not the same here. Okay, so let's just put her down here. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. So adorable. Okay. And let's go ahead and put a little Mod Podge on top. Oh, look. How did I get blue paint? Did you all see me just dip that in the blue paint? That would have been a disaster if I... Okay, how did that happen? I have to watch this video and see what the heck did I just do that I got blue paint on my... It came from here. I didn't know I was anywhere near there with my brush. Let's see, it goes to show. Yep, there's blue paint in my Mod Podge. Okay, that's good. All right, I took some clean paint. Okay, so there we go. And just get her down like that. Oh my gosh, look how cute that is, right? All right, now I also had two other little things to do on the sides. I have this little thing that says sing, and it's the page number, and I thought I'd just like stick it on one side here. It is fun to get the little, you know, to decorate the little sides a little bit. These sit up, these are going to sit up near my desk here. The little one that I showed you that I had already done, it sits up on my desk here so I can see. And then the other side, where is it? Is the dove, is a little dove, which of course symbolizes the Holy Spirit. So we're going to put that up here. There we go. That's going up here. And, you know, you can, oh, there's the blue paint. I guess it really doesn't matter though, because it's just kind of adding another element to things, right? All right, I think I'm just going to, while I've got so much Mod Podge on here, I'm just going to finish covering it. Just not the back, like I said. You one side you need to leave so that you'd be able to handle it or lay it down. So there's, I think, all the sides now have Mod Podge on them. So there's that. Now it is buckling a little bit, but that happens with Mod Podge. As it dries, it will flatten out, so I'm not really worried about that. And here's a trick too. I have put a piece of parchment paper under my Mod Podge lid because they get so stuck shut sometimes, and I found that really helps. So that's all I'm going to do today for this video, because I do have to let her dry before I add anything else. But I can pick it up from the back there. There she is, and I am going to probably embellish her. I'm thinking I might use a little glitter glue or something like that to put on her, or some, I don't know, maybe little flowers down here or something. But I will embellish her a little bit more. But I just wanted to show you guys how fun it is if you have a little box, any little empty box. You know, you can make your own little mixed media canvases from them, even to the raisin boxes, you know, even something like that. So since we're trying to use up our supplies, we're not trying to buy anything else, this is a great way to make something different without buying any supplies that you don't already have on hand. So guys, I really hope you liked this video. Please give me a thumbs up if you did. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I ask that you do. And until the next video, I hope you're all truly blessed. Bye-bye.